So we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. This story, oh my god, I just love these characters so much, and it's just so human. Two main characters, Harriet and Wynne, who have actually broke up previously to the beginning of the story, I think maybe 6 months. They are going on a group friend trip, which they do annually. Don't want to tell their friends in case they ruin the trip, so they're kind of pretending to still be together whilst really not wanting to be around each other, obviously. And it's just a really sweet story. It made me cry, it made me laugh, because Emily Henry is just so good at writing banter. She is just the queen. And if you haven't read this one yet, I really think you should. Next up is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I actually listened to this one on audiobook, but it looks like this. Really recommend listening to the audiobook. The reason I enjoyed it so much was because I listened to it rather than read it, set up as a podcast. Hearing it and then having like background music and things like that was just really immersive, and I really enjoyed it. One of our main characters runs a podcast. She bumps into this lady on her birthday dinner, and they both share the same birthday. They're birthday twins. She decides to create a new segment for her podcast, and it kind of unravels from there. You kind of see way more into depth of each character, and obviously it's a Lisa Jewell book. There is many plot twists. Lisa Jewell is really good at creating like an eerie mystery, and I think this one is top tier. I've read a few of hers now, and this one is the best by far. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton was one of the first books I read this year, and again I listened to an audiobook because she actually narrates it herself. Oh my god, I can't believe I haven't read this before. It was so eye-opening. I feel like when you're a young girl, especially like early 20s, you're kind of feeling like no one else feels this way. I don't know how to explain it, but Dolly Alderton is just so good at being raw, real, and just laying it all out on the table, and especially listening to her narrate it was just something else. She's so funny, and it really does open your eyes to girlhood, how valuable relationships are, whether that be friendships or partners, family and everything like that. But it was just so fun to listen to, and I really would recommend if you're feeling a little bit lost. Lastly, I have Law of Love by Lottie Moore. It's a bodyguard, romance, enemies to lovers, all of the good stuff. I believe this is actually her debut novel as well, so that was really fun. It gets quite dark sometimes. Obviously where he's a bodyguard there are like firearms and stuff, so bear that in mind. There was so much tension from the very beginning because they really don't like each other, and they're forced to live in the same house because our main character Freya has been evicted with her mum, and they move in with Caleb, our bodyguard, and MMC. There is also an element of mystery in this because you're trying to work out what happened to her dad and why no one's heard from him in literally months. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, I would definitely recommend reading Law of Love.